What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another second channel video. I had a little, reading light that I was really excited to try and use for a little bit of extra lighting back here, but now I can't find it, so I guess it's business as usual for now, unfortunately. But this doesn't really look too terrible. Anyway, today I'm going to show all of you through my CD collection. This is probably the third or fourth time I've recorded this video, because I just keep getting more CDs, but I intend to actually edit and put this one up. So, yeah, I guess, let us begin, starting with my only Aerosmith CD, Greatest Hits. The cataloging app I use thought that this was like a completely different album. And I did too for a minute, because I guess this spine style they use, or the publisher uses, for quite a few different things for Aerosmith. So I was a little confused at Entertain Mart the other day, because I thought I found it again, but it was a completely different thing. But here's what we've got on the inside, our disc there, booklet. I believe I showed this off on I think it was my most recent car review video. I haven't done one of those in a while, because I don't have money to spend. But, yeah, so that's Aerosmith. Ow. I just knocked my knuckle on this TV stand. Next up, we have some Henri, Heaven Beach, Bikini, Timely, and Cool. My favorite albums, probably these two, Cool and Bikini. Heaven Beach is a really great night drive listen. And then, I mean, everybody likes Timely, right? That includes me. That's all of our A's. God, the light back here sucks. Moving on to the B's with the Beatles. We have Beatles 1. You know, their number one hits. I didn't actually know that that's what this was. I thought they just called it that. But no, it's all of their number one hits, which, makes sense why they would call it this. I almost dropped it. The booklet's in there weird, but yeah. This is one of those, I think these are called digipacks, or maybe this is just a cardboard sleeve. I think the digipacks actually are the thing that have like the plastic disc holder, but cardboard, whatever. Here's our booklet. You know, something you'd find in any old CD. I like this booklet because it shows like all the original single covers. And, like, there's a lot of Japanese versions in here, too, for some reason. I guess the Beatles were really big in Japan. And then here's our disc. It's just the cover art, but, again. Here we have the Beatles 1962 to 66 and 1967 to 1970. I just found this one very recently. I had this one on its own for a long time. These are both two discs. Here's disc 1 for that. Disc 2. I really like these booklets because on the back we have the cover for the other one. I think that's really cool. And then also in the back here we have a little advertisement for the other one as well. We'll show off this one as well. Disc 1, Disc 2, front and back, front and back. I think that's really cool. Here's our little advertisement. This is just a lyric booklet, whereas the one in 1 just kind of gives you details about each song, whereas this one's just a lyric booklet. But it does have a few pictures in it as well, like this, for example. So those are my Beatles CDs. I wonder where I got that joke from, the Beatles. It was definitely like some movie or something. Could not tell you what, though. Next up, we've got some Billy Joel. This is a concert CD from one of his shows in the Soviet Union, which I actually also have one of those on VHS. I think these are two different shows, but they're still both from one of his stints in the USSR, and I think that's really neat. Then we have Billy Joel Greatest Hits. This is another 2-disc. Here's disc 1 and our booklet. And disc 2, this is just your standard Columbia stuff. Just some information on there, nothing fancy. And then we have Stormfront. I bought this album about 4 or 5 years ago at this point because it has We Didn't Start the Fire on it, and that is it. Next up, we've got the Bohemian Rhapsody movie soundtrack. Nothing special about this. I think the version of Don't Stop Me Now on here is a lot better than the original version, just because it has more guitar in it. Next up, we have a little bit of Bon Jovi. We have Crossroads, which is just a little compilation album. I did not know that this is an Icon Series CD. I don't know if you can actually... There it is. I had the wrong side right there. Even though it says Icon on the spine, I guess that just never really correlated with me before, because this was the only one I had for a long time. I've also got a Queen one that I'll show off when we get there. So that's Crossroads, booklet, disc. I like the disc art here. Then we have Bon Jovi Greatest Hits. I bought this at this huge antique store in Pueblo. It's one of these fold-outs. The booklet is in the middle in this weird little thing. I don't really understand the motivation behind that, but it's pretty neat. I'm suddenly seeing a lot of these at Walmart in a lot better condition than this, but I already have it, so oh well. Then we've got the one Bon Jovi album everybody's gotta have, Slippery When Wet. You will recall that I've also got that on vinyl. Watch my vinyl video, which will either be on this side or on this side. I am not sure if this is going to be flipped in post or not. I really like how they did the disc here, because it's got the same design as the album cover. It's really neat. You can't see it very well, but yeah, I really like it. They had copies of this at Entertain Mart. A friend gave this to me, by the way. They had copies of this at Entertain Mart, but they were with the alternate album art, which was just a picture of breasts, pretty much. Boston by Boston. I also have this on vinyl and cassette. Nothing really special going on in here. Yellow disc. I like that. Some stuff about the band in there. Very nice, very nice. Finishing out our B's is Bryan Adams, Cuts Like a Knife. This is a CD that was just, making the rotations in my family and just so happened to end up with me. So I don't really have anything to say about it. Here's what it looks like on the inside. Nothing special on the disc. Again, just one of your standard, 1990s, put the information on the disc kind of discs. Next up, in the C section, we've only got a few here. The Cars Greatest Hits and The Cars. I only know a couple songs off this album, but I intend to listen to the rest one day because it's I love those songs. Then we have the disc for Cheap Trick's Greatest Hits. This was just chilling in one of our cabinets upstairs. Quite a few of these were, actually, so I decided to snag it up. Then we have Creedence Clearwater Revival Chronicle. I also bought this a few years ago because it has Down on the Corner on it, and that's the only Creedence Clearwater Revival song that I knew at the time, or at least the only one that I knew. Now I know a couple others, obviously. Where is it? Fortunate Son, Have You Ever Seen the Rain? Other than that, though, I couldn't tell you. In the D's, only a few of these as well. Def Leppard, Pyromania, and Hysteria. This album I wanted to get on vinyl back my freshman year of high school. Really badly I wanted it on vinyl because it has Pour Some Sugar on Me on it. And that is the only Def Leppard song I knew at the time, and I really badly wanted this album on vinyl, CD is obviously not the same as vinyl, but I'm glad to own it anyway. I'm sure 14-year-old me would be mildly pleased by the fact that I have it in some capacity. Duplessis and the Violins of the World. My mom took me with her to see them live a couple years ago. This is more of a her outing, but I got the CD, so very neat. I remember liking them a lot. It's a lot of, like, more traditional, like, a lot of these guys are, like, I don't know my geography of Asia very well, but, like, more Eastern Asia. And then Duplessis is French, so they got a little bit of that in there. But a lot of it felt, like, really Mongolian, I remember, because one of the guys is Mongolian and knows how to throat sing. That was fucking sick. Next up in the E's, Eagles, Greatest Hits, and Greatest Hits Volume 2. Technically, this is called Their Greatest Hits. I like this CD significantly more than this CD. The only song on here that I really think is worth listening to is, of course, Hotel California. Heartache Tonight is also a pretty good song, though. But this one, I think I just like early Eagles more than I like less early Eagles. Like, Take It Easy, Lion Eyes, Already Gone, One of These Nights, Tequila Sunrise, Peaceful Easy Feeling. I'm coming around to Witchy Woman. I didn't like it for a long time, but I'm coming around to it, I think. Then we've got Earth, Wind, and Fire, Greatest Hits. Not really much to say to this one. I was really into Earth, Wind, and Fire my freshman year of high school. I haven't really listened to them much recently, mostly because I am coming right off of about a 3-year stint of only listening to Japanese music, so I'm trying to get back into this stuff a little bit. Though I am searching for those Japanese CDs still. Anybody in the comments, if you can help me out. There's a lot on eBay, but I don't really feel like paying $50 per for Shishamo. Love Shishamo. I ain't got that kind of money. At this point, I think I just gotta wait till I go to Japan. But in the meantime, I got some blank CDs, which I will show those off at the very end, because I did do a couple of those. Anyway, next up, Elton John, Diamonds. I think this is just kind of a compilation album. But it kind of seems like a truncated version of this. Greatest Hits, 1970 to 2002. This is another fold-out, but I think this one was executed much better than the Bon Jovi one, because it got disc, and then the booklet off to the side here, and I think it's supposed to go inside this little pocket, but I like it a lot better this way, and I also cannot get it in there, so I'm not even gonna try. Love me some Elton John, though. The only F CD is Foreigner's Complete Greatest Hits. That leads me to believe that maybe there were 2 CDs, or maybe, like, tapes or something. I don't know. But this is the Complete Greatest Hits. I love me some Foreigner, too. I only know a few songs by name, but I know a lot more than just those by them. But, like, Cold as Ice, Double Vision, and Jukebox Hero, the ones I know by name, amazing songs. Then we're in the G's now. We have a little bit of Green Day here. Green Day was more my brother's thing. I only know, like, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, and that's pretty much it. But I got some CDs that I'll listen to eventually. We got International Super Hits. I always want to say International Super Shits for this for some reason. I don't really know why, because it's not exactly written like that. But that's just how it is. Then we have Warning. And then another loosey-goosey here, American Idiot. I guess I also know that song. Next up, we've got some Guns N' Roses. I only know a few songs by Guns N' Roses, which is why I initially just bought this Greatest Hits. I think this is a digipack. It comes out, you got the plastic thing for the disc in there, the whole rest of the thing is cardboard. Anyone in the comments, if you can clarify me on that, I think that is a digipack, and like my Beatles 1 and my Henri albums are just cardboard sleeves. But then I've also got Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, and then Use Your Illusion. I wanted to buy these because it kind of sounds like these are some of like the rock albums of all time. I have to say, I've only listened to a little bit of one so far, but I don't really see it. Like, they're pretty good songs, but it just kind of seems like Women Don't Like Me kind of songs, and then also Live and Let Die. So, but we'll see. I still have an album and a half to listen to, so. But either way, they look nice on the shelf, and I, again, I like me some Guns N' Roses on a good day, so. Then we've got the Hamilton soundtrack. I do not have these inserts anymore, but this is the official CDs. Here's Act 1. Here's Act 2. Love me some Hamilton when I'm in the mood for it. It just kind of comes and goes as it pleases. Here we have the movie's soundtrack to the Heavy Metal movie, which I have not watched, but I know the song Heavy Metal, and I know a couple of the people that are on this soundtrack. This is another one that was just kind of circulating in my family, and it ended up on my shelf, right? So, not a whole lot to say about this, but I think we are indeed in the J's now. Starting off with the J. Geils Band, Greatest Hits. I know a few songs by J. Geils Band. Love Stinks, Freeze Frame, and Centerfold, of course. They had a Freeze Frame vinyl, like the album, at this shop up at the Chapel Hills Mall, but it was like $60. And I don't really want to spend that much money on a vinyl record that probably isn't even going to play very well, because it's like 40 years old. So I just bought this. Love those songs. I'm sure I'll love the other songs on this CD, but as of right now, not much to say. 20th Century Masters, Jackson 5. I love me some Jackson 5. That's really all I can say about this. It's not really anything special about it. It's like the Jackson 5 Greatest Hits, but under a different name. I think the track list is more or less the same. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. And we have this Joe Pass, and this guy that I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, Chops. My old bass teacher gave this to me as kind of a parting gift, I guess. Some jazz. You can never go wrong with some jazz. I really like how the CD is just the album cover, but again, it's really nice. Then we've got John Lennon Collection, because it was 2019 or 2020-ish, and I was really into the Beatles, and this has John Lennon's version of Stand By Me on it, which is one of the greatest songs ever, legitimately. If you have not heard John Lennon's version of Stand By Me, listen to it right now. It is an amazing song. Then Journey Greatest Hits Volume 1. I know there's a Volume 2, because a few months ago at Entertainment, actually the same day that I made that car review video, they had Volume 1 and Volume 2 in a set like this, but I did not buy it for some fucking reason. But I have Volume 1 here. Next up, we've got the Led Zeppelin section, because they are the only L's that I have. Led Zeppelin, the BBC Sessions. I saw that recently they released like a complete BBC Sessions like remaster, so that's very interesting. But this is a neat little 2 CD thing in one of these regular sized cases, which just means you open it, there's disc 1, and then there's disc 2. I really think that's really clever. Early Days and Latter Days, the best of Led Zeppelin. This went out of print almost 20 years ago, because then they released that Mothership album, which I also do want to get, because it has Ramble On it, which is the only Led Zeppelin song that I know that isn't on either of these. It's got me a lot more into Led Zeppelin, and I am very thankful for that. I love Led Zeppelin. I've always loved Led Zeppelin, even when I only knew like 3 songs. But now I really love Led Zeppelin. Next we have Led Zeppelin 4. This has Black Dog, Rock and Roll, Stairway to Heaven on it. I don't know why I'm talking like that now. You're like mainstream Led Zeppelin songs. I also have this on vinyl along with 2 and 3. Not 1 though, still looking for that. Then we've got the Houses of the Holy, which I learned by looking at the back that it does not actually have the song Houses of the Holy on it. I kind of read up on that. I guess they just decided it didn't really fit the vibe of the album, so they just didn't put it on, which at that point, why call the album Houses of the Holy? But, you know, I'm not fucking Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, John Bonham, or John Paul Jones show. And then we have this, Presence, which I did not know was a Led Zeppelin album, because I didn't know about it at all. But my mom knew a couple songs off of it, so it's gotta be good. I really like what they did for the disc art here. It's unique compared to these other two. These other two, they're both just like this, which is the same thing that they put on the label for the vinyl records. Just to show that off, let me get one out real quick. The same kind of thing right there. I don't know why these vinyl publishers couldn't put the label on the same way on both sides. Like, is it really that difficult? Now, we are officially on to the second shelf with, how do I want to introduce probably the single most important artist in my life for sending me on the aforementioned 3-year stint of only listening to Japanese music. The Queen, Machiko, her first 2 albums that are on Spotify. She actually has a few more that aren't on Spotify that I can't listen to because they're like on Amazon, but they're like only Japanese Amazon, I think. It's kind of weird. Another reason I want to go to Japan to buy some CDs, see if I might be able to find them. But I love both of these albums with all of my heart. Every single song on them are bangers, except Matasta on this one. But I still like it. It took a while for me to come around to it, but it's a good song. Machiko. I love Machiko. She has a 3rd album out of all her Precure anime songs, which I really want to get, but that I know for sure is only on Japanese Amazon. So I'm just going to have to try my luck with a plane ticket one of these days. Then we've got Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell. Great album. Made me cry in the car a few times because I was listening to it at like 1 a.m. driving. Great album. Then Meiko Nakahara, something, Tuji Made no Cinderella. Friday Magic, that's what it says on the thing, so that's what I call it. I'm fucking stupid. Niji Made no Cinderella. They spell that kind of weird. It has the song Fantasy on it, which is like the 80s Japanese song that kind of got me into city pop, so I haven't listened to anything else on it, but I am excited to. Then we have Metallica, their first 5 albums, all in these cardboard thingamajigs. And then this single that my mom bought in Germany that has some, like, it's got the song Sad But True on it, hence the name, and then just some different variations, live versions, whatnot, demo. The elevator version of Nothing Else Matters, it's just kind of an acoustic version. I think that's kind of an interesting name, but I get it. And then on to one of the 3 biggest sections of my CD collection, Michael Jackson. This is it. In this really nice, it is the booklet CD case. It's just a bunch of pictures, but disc 1 goes in there. Disc 2 goes in there. Very nice. I'm just still thinking about how terribly I butchered that Meiko Nakahara album. I really got to get back on my Japanese studies. Then we have the Essential Michael Jackson, which I somehow never bought until a few months ago, if you did not know. I was, like, mega obsessed with Michael Jackson in middle school, hence the names of my channels being Michael, but spelled in a way that I just thought was kind of funny. It used to be Michael Jackson, spelled MIAKAYL_JAKKSUN. Not anymore, though. Essential Michael Jackson, this is another one of those neat 2-disc things. Disc 1, Disc 2. Then we've got Off the Wall. I hate this CD with a burning passion. This specific CD, I love this album. Because it's too big. It is nowhere near the same size as a regular CD. It does not fit, well, it did not fit in the CD compartment of my car that I totaled. My new car doesn't have a CD compartment, which makes this even more complicated. I want to get another copy, but all the other copies just have his legs on the album cover for some fuck-ass reason. I don't know. I don't know why these people do these things. The 3 Michael Jackson albums of all time: Thriller, Bad, and I finally found a copy of this weekend. I've literally been looking for this for very close to a decade at this point. What is it, 2025? So maybe not quite. About 7 years. Dangerous. I wanted this album for so long, and I finally have it. This is honestly probably my favorite Michael Jackson album. I love this album to death. Then we've got Invincible, another great album. I can't have the same level of energy for it, unfortunately, but still love this album. And then Escape. This is the deluxe edition that has the remixes and the original versions. I used to have, up until recently, the version with just the remixes on it, but I decided I want to just have this one. There's no reason to have 2 copies of the same album, right? I initially bought this just for the original versions, because I used to be hella elitist and thought that the remixes were absolute garbage. Now I kind of think that the original ones are absolute garbage, because a lot of them are very obviously incomplete songs, right? Like, complete to a degree, otherwise they wouldn't have put them on the album, but the remixes overall are a lot better, I think. Like, there are some that I don't like Do You Know Where Your Children Are? That song is just kind of goofy, I think, but everything else, great album. Next up, if I can put Michael Jackson back on the shelf, we have a couple more Japanese CDs, Mihimaru GT, Mihima Life. Apparently, I put this in upside down. This is another one of those 2-disc things. I was swapping some cases a few days ago, just to try some different things out. And this was one of the ones that I was toying with. And I guess I put, well, not guess, I did apparently put this insert in upside down. So I'm going to fix that real quick. I've only listened to, I think, about half of this album, because I just decided to pop it in on my way to school one day. But what I did listen to, it was pretty good. It's just like your standard, late 90s, early 2000s pop, in a good way. It's good music. Just not really my cup of tea on most days, But good album from what I listened to, nevertheless. Then we have Michi Madness. I have not put this in, but I will one day. I think this is really interesting. This is a black, disc holder, chassis, whatever, so that it's just black on the inside, but it's like smooth plastic instead of the hard plastic. I mean, it is hard. You know what I'm talking about. It's kind of weird. Then we have our only 2 N CDs. Nirvana, Nevermind, also used to be my brother's, and No Doubt, Tragic Kingdom. I don't know who this used to belong to, but it is another one of those that just kind of made its way onto my shelf eventually. I know a couple songs off of this. I like them. I'll listen to the album eventually. Same thing with Nirvana here. Nothing really to say about those. Pocket Biscuits, Colorful. This is the 3rd of 5 albums that I got out of a blind box at NandeSCon, which I am going to again this year, even if I have to go by myself. I need more random Japanese CDs, and I want to see what they actually have on display for sale, because they had a few cool things there. I just didn't really buy them for one reason or another, probably money. But Pocket Biscuits, Colorful, the only Pocket Biscuits album on Spotify is just a compilation album with a couple of songs from this. It's just more standard 90s pop. Good music, not really my cup of tea on most days, but not bad, I like to listen to that kind of stuff when I'm in the mood. Next up is another recently sizable chunk of my collection, Pink Floyd. we have this, The Delicate Sound of Thunder. This is a live album. This is not its original packaging. This was the CD I was playing around with a few different cases for, because it was originally in this one, another one of these 2-disc things. And this is cracked, I don't know if you can really see, and also dirty. It's got some gunk on here. Very gross. So I decided to just transfer it into one of these. I don't remember what this one used to belong to, because this was a while back at this point. Which is why I'm a little surprised I'd ever noticed until just now that I put that in upside down, but whatever. Live album. The version of Money that they played at the concert that this is taken from fucking blew my mind. Like, the 4/4 section in the middle is just like jazz fusion. And it is insane, and I love it so much. There's a more recent, like, remastered version of this with more of the concert. I guess they cut some of that out for this version. And they also put out a concert DVD that I have been looking for ever since I learned about it. So maybe I'll get my hands on that one day. Then we've got The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, their first album. I've listened to maybe about half of this. I put it on and then fell asleep because I was in the car. In the passenger seat, just so we're clear, we were on the way to the Renaissance Festival, which is about an hour from my house, and I woke up early for it, so I fell asleep. But the half I did listen to, pretty good. I think this was 67, so it's like more psychedelic rock, but pretty good. You know, not really the Pink Floyd I'm used to, but, you know, not bad. I don't know why I'm doing this all of a sudden. I will listen to the rest of it later. Then we have The Dark Side of the Mood. Cannot not have this album. I said The Dark Side of the Mood. I love this album. I cannot listen to any song on it without listening to the rest of the album all the way through from there. Which is why I don't really have it in my playlists anymore. Because I don't really listen to Spotify much anymore. Except recently, because my new car is in the shop because it needed a new motor. So I've been borrowing my mom's car, and she's only got Bluetooth, so I listen to it in there. But Wish You Were Here, I also cannot listen to this album without listening to it all the way through. But in this particular case, it's because there's only 5 songs on it. By the way, this is also your standard Columbia discs. They do this with all of them except The Delicate Sound of Thunder and Piper at the Gates of Dawn. Let me show. I already showed this off, but I'll show it again. That's what that looks like. You can kind of see it. These reflective discs don't work very well for this camera setup, and by that I mean my phone. This disc, though, I really like. It's got a really nice design on it, really emphasizing that psychedelic thing. Then we've got Animals. I have not listened to this yet, but it's same general structure as Wish You Were Here. It's only got 5 songs on it. But whereas Wish You Were Here has a very long song at the beginning and the end, this has a very short song at the beginning and the end, and then we have 17 minutes, 11 minutes, and 10 minutes. So, I'm very excited to listen to this one. Then we have The Wall. This is a 2-disc, which I have decided to keep in its original case, just mostly because of these spines. They have Pink Floyd, The Wall. So, I just have The Wall on the spine if I wanted to switch it out. So I have elected not to do that. I've listened to most of this album. I think I've got down to Run Like Hell. So I've only got a few tracks left, but I haven't really sat down to actually listen to some music in a while. But the next time I do, this is the first album I'm going to finish. Then we have A Momentary Lapse of Reason. I only know Learning to Fly off of this album, but this was in the lot that I bought, so that's how I got all of them but The Wall was from a CD lot on eBay. But yeah, that's all my Pink Floyd. Then we got a couple Police albums. This is Every Breath You Take, the singles. I bought this from Entertain Mart, and I really wish I didn't, because the person who previously owned this definitely had children. Because look at the condition of this booklet. It's like hole punched right there, ripped off there. It's like glued together. Very unfortunate. But the CD itself seems to play okay, so like, you know, whatever. And then we have this Synchronicity, another digipack. I am a little more disappointed with this one because the disc is very bland. Like, you could have done literally anything you wanted to, and you just did white background with black and white text. Like, are you fucking kidding me? When you have this album art, too, like, what the hell is actually your problem? And then we have the second most expensive part of this collection, after Michael Jackson and before Pink Floyd, Queen! I have 5 compilation albums and 4 albums. We have Queen Greatest Hits, not to be confused, of course, with Queen Greatest Hits. This is very interesting to me, because this is more or less the exact same track listing as this one, except it's different order, and there's a few different songs that are on, like, Greatest Hits 2. And speaking of Greatest Hits 2, this design matches much more closely. Like, down to the back and everything. Like, I don't really get it. The one that's actually in the Platinum Collection, which is what I got these out of, is much better. Like, a much better ordering, a much better track selection for the few that are different. So we have Greatest Hits 1, 2, and 3. This one's also a little bit odd to me, just because it's mostly stuff off of Made in Heaven, and a few live recordings, a couple solo things, and then a Christmas song to close it out. So, there are actually like a song or two off of Innuendo on here as well. But it's just kind of, like, I'm glad to own it, but it just seems a little less worthwhile than the other two. Then we have this Queen Icon, which I mentioned earlier. I also have the Billy Joel Bon Jovi Icon CD. That was already almost 43 minutes ago. That's crazy. But yeah, I bought this because it has Stone Cold Crazy on it. That's really the only reason, but also a couple of their other earlier songs that aren't on Greatest Hits 1. And then for my albums, we have The Game, which I also have on vinyl. Hot Space, A Kind of Magic, and the aforementioned Innuendo, which put those together with The Miracle and Made in Heaven on cassette, means aside from the works, which I do not have, I own a pretty much comprehensive collection of the latter half of Queen's discography, which I think is really nice. Then I've got a couple Rush CDs, disc 2 for Rush Chronicles, which is a kind of greatest hits compilation. This was the only one we had for some reason. And then I have this Test for Echo, one of their later albums. I've heard very mixed things about it, but I'll form my own opinions one day. Then we've got Scorpions. This is kind of a greatest hits, best of rockers and ballads. The case itself is kind of dirty, but the booklet's in fine shape. The disc is in fine shape. The booklet just fell out. So, the case itself is not in very fine shape, but everything else is. Yeah, I only know a couple songs by Scorpions, those being No One Like You and Rock You Like a Hurricane. But those are both on this album, so justifiable. This is something my mom bought for me. This is like, kind of jazz piano, I think. It's autographed, which is very cool. This is another kind of cardboard sleeve / digipack, whatever. Still not sure what the difference really is. Finishing it out with this lovely assortment here. Stone Temple Pilots. That's just what it's called. This is Suzuki Ami's Infinity 18 Volume 1, the fourth of 5 CDs that I got out of a blind box at Non-Discon. Then we have the only big band CD you'll ever need, and I have to agree, there are a lot of bangers on here. Then we've got Tomo Sakurai's T-Mode, the 5th of 5 blind box CDs. This is more like 90s pop, but it's like kind of... I don't know how to describe genres. I like it more than like Pocket Biscuits or Mihimaru GT. Then we've got Toto Past to Present, 1977 and 1990. Not sure what that present is supposed to mean in these times, but love me some Toto. We've got Wes Montgomery, Best of Wes, Jazz Trombone, I believe. This is another CD that just kind of made it into my collection. And then my final legitimate CD is Weezer, the Red Album. Not my favorite Weezer album, but I'm glad to just finally have some Weezer on CD. I really want to find the Blue Album. I have it on vinyl, but I can't listen to that in the car. I also really want OK Human. I fucking love that album. And then, as I mentioned, I have 2 burned CDs. We have some Banshimoku, the greatest band of all time. And then the aforementioned Shishamo, also the greatest band of all time. Banshimoku, though, only has 1 CD, and they just put it out because it's their newest EP. And then Shishamo has all their albums on CD, but they're like $50 on eBay, and I don't really feel like spending that kind of money. Also, over here, apparently, is Ford v Ferrari in a red box case. So, that's cool. But, yeah. That is my CD collection. So, as always, thank you so much for watching if you did, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.